Austin is an engineer, psychologist, kinesiologist, a trick shot artist, and probably the most advanced instructor in golf today. He's just returned from Japan and Hong Kong, where he conducted golf exhibitions and clinics. Over there, he was dubbed Ichiban Utsu, world's #1 hitter. You've been watching Mike's exceptional control and executing a golf swing in slow motion. Now, in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, you will meet Mike Austin. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Austin. Mike, what's the purpose of the costume you're wearing?
To show the framework of the body and the movement of the joints to enable one to attain the positions necessary to get the best result from their golf swing.
Let's start at the beginning and the proper way to address the ball.
I stand in erect position to begin with and separate the heels about 12 inches and the toes about 15 inches. I then bend from the ball and socket joints of my hip about 30 degrees toward the ball. I place my left arm in a position, in an extended position this way, and my hands on the club, and place the club head behind the ball, and then lower the right shoulder and flex the right knee so I can get my hand on the club correctly, my right hand on the club correctly, ready to start the back swing.
Would you give us a few examples of how not to address the ball?
This is improper posture, sitting down and collapsing the vertebrae of the back, dropping all the upper torso down on the muscles of the stomach and intestines and so forth. This is wrong. Standing with your feet too wide takes the body out of the swing. All you can move is the arms and the club. Standing too close, you don't have good balance, and you'll wobble like this. Standing with the closed stance blocks out the right side, so you get a bad shot this way. Standing too open actually blocks out the body, so you won't get the proper results. It causes you to cut across the ball, too, slice it, generally.
Mike, do you grip the club in the same way as the other leading golf professionals?
Yes, I use the standard overlap grip. This is where palm versus palm, and the arms form a figure V from the wrist to the shoulders. I place the palm of my left hand on the front side of the shaft, with the heel of the left hand on the top of the shaft, and the thumb of the left hand on the top of the shaft. I then wrap the forefingers of the left hand around the underside of the grip so that I have a full grip with all the fingers and thumbs of the left hand. I then bring the ring finger of the right hand up against the index finger of the left hand, placing the palm of the right hand behind the shaft. I then wrap the other two fingers of the right hand underneath the club and the upper part of the right thumb, which is the heavy, meaty part of the right thumb, over the left thumb, and I wind up with what I call the standard overlap grip.
How do you start your backswing?
I start the backswing by a coordinated action of these members of my body. I extend the right knee, and I flex the left knee. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see the knee action. By flexing this left knee, that means it goes out. Pulling the right knee back, it sets up the axis on which the pivot is made. While I'm doing this, I rotate the left shoulder simultaneously underneath the chin between the neck and the ball so that it's turned about 90 degrees. This puts me in a position so that I can turn the left side, wind up the big muscles of the back, and get the greatest amount of potential power that you can out of a swing.
What are some of the wrong ways to start the backswing?
Well, to stand here like this and pick up the club independently is one way. To stand here like this and try to pull it inside too deeply is another way. To stand with the feet too wide apart is another way to get in a bad position to start it. When you start this club, it's got to be a coordinated action of the body and the members, each member of the whole structure of the body, working together with the cocking of the hands, the only independent action in the golf swing. If you take this club back and let the shoulders turn with the flexion of the left knee and the extension of the right knee, you get into a position that you can really utilize your forces with the greatest amount of
You
efficiency.
mentioned cocking the wrists. When do you start to cock your wrist on the backswing?
I start my wrist cocking in the lower part of the backswing. In other words, as I shift my weight here, my arms are moving with the shift of weight and the rotation of my shoulders, and I exert a pressure with the heel of the left hand and the index finger of the right hand just as I pass the right foot, which you'll see the hand starting to bend here. This allows the right elbow to fold in the extended arc of the left and causes my club to stay on the proper plane so that I can get into this particular position here.
Mike,
and
do you
return.
advocate packing the right elbow in close, tight against the right side on the backswing?
Well, I certainly do not. I think this is one of the greatest ills in the golf game. Packing the right elbow does not allow you to separate the club the proper distance here from the ball to attain the force that's necessary to drive it any distance. In other words, you have only a segment to swing this way. When you don't back it, you can get it here and really have time enough to build up some force before you get back to the ball. By packing the right elbow into the right side, it makes the swing flat. It also causes the left shoulder to rotate on the horizontal plane, throwing your head back off your center plane, which you must maintain to have consistency in a golf swing. If you start your swing with this packing the right arm, your first movement is pulling the club off of this track, off of the perimeter of your circle. I try to keep as far away from me throughout the swing as the point at which I address the ball. When I address the ball, if I took the hands and did this, and I got to the top, they're still the same distance away from me. I don't ever want them closer to me than when I address it. I'm that far away from the ball. So you can see the disadvantages in trying to pack the arm here. Rocks the shoulders, takes the club off of the perimeter of the circle. It gives you an unsteady head position, and by doing this, you cannot get the result that you desire.
To sum up the backswing, could you show us on the skeleton the particular positions of each part of the body and each movement of the backswing?
Well, by extending